All right, before we dive too deep in here, I have to shout out No. So if you guys have been listening, you know that they are our first official podcast sponsor. That means so much to us here at the podcast. All of you listening means so much to us at the podcast. So a simple way to support the show is by liking it on any podcast platform that you're listening to. Follow, subscribe, whatever the prompt is. Sharing it with your friends, sharing your favorite episode with a friend, whether that's on social media or directly sending them a link, all of that helps so much. Plus, rating and reviewing the podcast. And lastly, supporting the sponsors who support us. So NoSo has graciously given us, and you all, a discount code for 15% off your next order. It's Flarin' It Up. FLAIRIN It Up. It's in the show notes if you didn't catch all that. But check them out. Use the code. That supports us. That shows them that you support us and you're supporting them. It's a double whammy. You can use no-sew patches to repair gear or just add flair, hence the code Flarin' It Up. You want to add some personality to a hat, a bag, a black jacket, get a no-sew patch. They have amazing artist collaborations and patches for everything. Merino wool, denim, all sorts of everything under the sun. So go check out No-Sew Patches, support the people who support us, like, share, follow, all those things. It means so much to us. Thanks for being here. Here's the episode. Hello, everybody out there. Welcome back to another episode of Tarin It Up. I have got two guests here today, so this will be a fun one. I love when we have multiple guests, and it also makes it a little bit easier if they're actually together in person. So they can, I don't know, it's just a little bit easier to talk over each other less, I think, when you're able to like nudge each other and actually hear. There's no internet delay, and they're sisters. So that's also, I think you might be the first pair of sisters that we've had on. So that's really cool.
Yes.
And I've been following these gals for quite a while now. They are the founders of VNTRbirds. And I don't know, at some point in my life that I was following all these women's, and I mean still am, but like snow specific is kind of where I got into these different women's groups and organizations, She Jumps and Shred Betties and She Shreds and all sorts of different things. And so VNTRbirds was definitely up there in one of the early follows that I was keeping track of with the avalanche courses and all the things they do. So I'm not going to dive too deep into that. I'll let them get into telling you guys exactly what VNTRbirds are about if you haven't heard about them. But first off, I want to start with where exactly you are in the world as we record today. And go ahead and tell the folks your names too.
Awesome. I'll go first. My name's Leanne Wren. And we're actually at my house right now in Breckenridge, Colorado.
Awesome.
Yes, and I'm Kelley Wren. I like to reside in Leanne's house a lot. We do all of our work here, but I'm usually living over in Silverthorne, Colorado. I just bought a house over there a couple years ago.
Oh, fun. Okay, so how far way is it from each other?
I pretend that it's 15 minutes, but it's actually more like
It's like
25.
20, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really fast.
So like
Yeah.
I'm always late. Like it's always like, come on over. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be there in 15 minutes. And it's not, it's further.
No matter where we are in the world, Leanne is always late, so it's just expected. I have her location tracking. I know when she's going to show up.
That's so funny. I feel like as I've been in Tahoe, I've kind of gotten worse at it. And there's this thing that people call like Tahoe time. And it would drive me nuts when I first moved here. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. You're still just like late. Be responsible. Because I don't care if you're in like Tahoe time, there's like island time and these things too. It's like, no, like if you say a time, you still need to be there. I understand like a slower pace or whatnot. But now I definitely find myself like planning. Maybe it's like what you said, Leanne, where in my head, I think it's only going to take 15 minutes, but it actually takes 25. So I'm not giving myself the extra leeway. So I end up being a little more late more often than I used to be. And it's something that drives just myself nuts. But my late actually is on time. Like, it's to like a gym class and I want to be there 10 minutes early to like, I don't know, have my shoes on, be ready, but I'm showing up like 2 minutes earlier, right when class starts or something. So it's not really late, but it's not early like it used to be.
like, I'm the person that is pretty punctual, and if I am late, which does happen for sure, I'm not perfect,
Yeah.
I'm the one that's, like, apologizing, like, "I'm so sorry." Leanne shows up, and it's casual, like, she's here, and now it's time to go.
Yeah.
It wasn't that 10 minutes ago it's time to go, and she's now late. "No, I'm here, we're ready to go, I'm
I
ready.
love it. I
Let's
love it.
go."
That is so funny. And, oh, man, I just have so many questions too about the just sister dynamic and everything. I can't wait to dive into it. But are you guys from Colorado originally?
We are not. We grew up in Pennsylvania, in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. We actually had a really incredible childhood and childhood home. We grew up in a log cabin on a lake. So it's like as picturesque as you can think your childhood could be of just like
Yeah.
running around outside, like no shoes, all of the animals catching bullfrogs, just having this outdoor world living in Pennsylvania, which was so fun and so great. But we're mountain girlies and we even like we spent time in New England, we traveled around a bunch, but every time we traveled, we were just going somewhere with bigger mountains, bigger mountains, bigger mountains. Leanne moved out to Colorado first, and as she traveled around Colorado, she settled in Breckenridge, and I kept visiting her like during college breaks and everything like that. And as soon as I graduated college, I was like, yeah, Breckenridge is going to be where I move to as well. And we actually have a brother in between us. And the same time that I was moving out to Breck, he was like, I got a job at Keystone. I'm coming too.
Oh,
So we all
cool.
moved out to Colorado. And a few years later, our parents followed suit and they're now down in Durango. So
Oh, I love that. Okay, so that explains why you guys know so much about Durango and the trails then, I take it. Or I'm sure maybe you spent more time there before your parents were there, but
Yeah.
it sounds like you guys go back there often.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's so cool because Patrick, our brother, he lives in Fruita, Colorado, which
Oh,
obviously we all kind of have ties to Fruita with Rome Fest and everything. And then our parents are in Durango, so we kind of um, we all spread out, and they're all really awesome locations, I think, in Colorado for the different activities and cultures and communities and everything. So yeah,
yes, that's amazing. That's so cool that your whole family so it is just, sibling-wise, it's you 2 and your brother.
yep,
Okay, so the whole family is out there in Colorado.
totally,
oh yeah.
Oh, that's
We even have a
so
cousin out
cool.
here now too.
yeah.
Oh
You
my
know?
god, I love that. I love that. I there's times I wish my whole family would just come here. They're still up in Washington, so I'm the only one down away from them, but I love the Northwest, so it's like a great excuse to go up there as often as possible, and I just feel like both places are truly home, and I think that that's cool too, to have a place where you feel like at home in 2 locations, and I don't feel I mean, obviously, there's times I feel torn, but it's still, like I said, great excuse to go up to the Northwest as much as I want, so
Totally, and those are both really awesome places to call home.
Mhm.
Washington State is so beautiful. Tahoe is like a total dream, so
Yes. I know, I really can't complain about either one at all. It's like it's easy flight up there too, so the drive, I do that a lot. It's long, but it's easy enough, and I've done it enough, and it's a quick hour and a half flight from Reno, so I really cannot complain. Easy to get to both. I'm not flying across the country or anything. And with you guys in being in Colorado and the whole family, were you going back to Pennsylvania often, or pretty set in Colorado once you moved there?
yeah, so once I moved out to Colorado, I was kind of doing like the back and forth thing, and I would drive like all the way from Colorado, like back to the Poconos in Pennsylvania, which is basically like where we were in Pennsylvania was like almost New Jersey, New York.
Wow.
It was like the very edge of Pennsylvania, like on the East Coast. So it was like a big drive. And the last time that I did it, I was like, this is officially the last time I drive the country, like it was like
Yeah.
I had done it like so many times.
Mhm.
So yeah, I haven't done it, since a long time now, at least probably, I don't know, 15 years. But
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, is that I don't know a lot about Pennsylvania or anything. I mean, all I ever hear about the East too is obviously the mountains from the West and and East are pretty different, but I still know there's a ski culture there and whatnot. Did you guys all ski and like were snow enthusiasts back there too, or when did that part come into your lives?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
our parents are bigger ski bums than
You will ever
anyone.
be.
Yeah. Like they so as soon as I was able to like kind of hold myself up, they put me in a pair of ski boots, and those things are rock hard, so I'm not going anywhere, but I was like in ski boots on the skis. They're pushing me around and everything, and they did the same thing with all of us. So we were skiers, first, and our home mountains were like Big Boulder, Jack Frost, Camelback. Yeah, and we did a bunch of ski racing, kind of not serious. But when I was 10 years old, is my dad was in some sort of ski race. He won a snowboard, and it was like this tiny snowboard, but it was huge for me. And he was like, "Okay, we should go out and like give this a shot." Like people weren't snowboarding yet or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so
What
we
year is this? Give them a
Some context.
like probably
It was
like
like
94
96 or something.
95.
Okay, so I
something
take
like that.
you're the oldest, Leanne,
Yeah,
of the three. Okay.
I'm the oldest. Yep. And so it was like 94, 95, something like that. And we get to the resort and we're trying to get on the lift, and they're like, "No, absolutely not. Like, you can't bring those things up here." And so we were like, "Okay, well, we're gonna hike it then." And so we hiked up with our snowboards and yeah, and rode the resort. And I pretty much didn't I loved that. Like, I loved like kind of the hardcore mentality. Like, I'm a part of this like group that, not a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you're a shred Betty, you're," I don't know, they're heckling me. And I thought that was so cool, that culture and everything. So I stuck with it pretty much. My dad, he's a skier, but I stuck with snowboarding.
That's awesome that you were actually like experienced that. I feel like a lot of us who have been in the snow industry a while, I've heard, right, where snowboarding comes from and the start, and there's all the places that it took forever for them to allow snowboards and just the reaction. And it was like looked at as that rebel like type of person and culture and things. But I got into snowboarding later in life, not until my teenage years. And, it was totally changed by then. But of course, like I said, heard all the stories. So the fact that you actually kind of experienced that, I think is really awesome. And to have seen literally seen and been a part of the entire change of it from then till now.
Yeah.
And so, Kelley, what about you? Where did are you snowboard as well now?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm also a snowboarder. So same deal, on skis, first thing, get us out there. No complaining. We're out at, our resorts on the East Coast, they open at like 7 a.m. and they close at 10 p.m. So like we are there from bell to bell,
That's
right?
awesome.
So I started skiing the year that Leanne got her snowboard. I was frothing. I was like, I want one too. I want one too. I am 6 years younger than Leanne. So I'm like itty bitty wanting a snowboard. And I think the next year, they let Patrick, our brother, get a snowboard for Christmas. And all of a sudden he turned over. He's a snowboarder. And I'm just like, I still want one. And I think it took like an additional 2 years. I was 8 years old. So 98, 8 years old. And I finally got this bright orange Oxygen Joker snowboard for Christmas. I will never forget it. I got it for Christmas. I started learning how to snowboard really between Patrick and Leanne. They kind of were like, "Okay, follow me." That's like my teaching of snowboarding, like follow me, make it down. But I never went back to skis. I started snowboarding at 8, never went back, and it's been true love ever since.
That's awesome. And obviously your parents like support you guys all being snowboarders and then still skiing. And did you guys get out a lot as a family? Like sounds like you probably still do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it
Yeah.
hasn't stopped for sure.
I think like for our dad, like his glory days are when we were competitive, like we were snowboarding competitively. So we were riding half pipe, slope style, giant slalom. We were doing all of those events, and we were traveling all over Pennsylvania and the Northeast and that sort of thing. And those were like his glory days, were
That
when he would be out at those events on the weekends competing, and he was coaching, and he would be like cooking us hot dogs in the
He
oh
in the
was
my
always
parking
god.
lot.
waxing
And
the gear. He'd be like, all the kids
totally.
would line up to get their stuff waxed by him and then get a hot dog
Yeah.
and then go out. He was
Yeah.
living life for
You
sure.
guys, I love this so much. I'm honestly like my cheeks already hurt so much from smiling that I'm like, this is just,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching like a movie. It's like I can just picture it all. And I'm just like, oh my God, I love this. And it's just like, yeah, I can imagine it all. And so, so cool that your family was so tight and like just having the support of your parents just sounds so amazing. And yeah, your dad, like you said, those were his glory days watching you guys do all that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And before we get too far, I guess as we start to from here, hearing your background of getting into snowboarding, your connection with all of it and the family, let's tell people what exactly VNTRbirds is now, and then we'll talk about like how you really got to creating it.
Totally.
So yeah,
Yes.
what do you guys
Why were-
do at VNTRbirds?
This is Kelley's gig. She's
Yeah.
got this.
So, gosh, the quick and dirty, right, of what VNTRbirds is. So Leanne and I are the co-owners of VNTRbirds, and VNTRbirds in a nutshell, we are an outdoor education and adventure company for women, femme, and non-binary folks. We are teaching avalanche education from the very basics. You've never been in the backcountry before. We're teaching you how to tour efficiently, how to pack your backpack, what should be in there, through like your AIRI certifications. And then in the summer months, we are teaching our mountain biking skills clinic. So again, from the very beginners, you've never been mountain biking, through advanced riders, or even if you're trying to get into racing, we have something for you. But our biggest thing is that not only are we hosting these courses and clinics like throughout the state of Colorado, we're not just based in Summit County, we're all over the place, but we are really community driven. So we do a lot of group rides that we like to call pedal parties,
Yes.
so that people can meet each other. We like to do a lot of free maintenance workshops so that you gain confidence with your own equipment too. So pretty much VNTRbirds is here for you to gain that confidence, that proper knowledge, and that self-reliance to be on the trail, whether you're with a bunch of friends or on your own. You know that you deserve to be out there and you have the background to be there too.
I love it. I love it so much. I mean, obviously, it's right up our alley here at Tarin It Up and all the things. And the word I still like hate using, but there's again not really a better one, but empowering like women to get out there, like you just said, on your own or with a group of friends or whatnot, and that feeling of belonging, like you. And I think I don't know if you guys. I'm interested to hear if when you moved to Colorado and to Breckenridge, if you felt any of this, because when I moved to Tahoe, and I mean, it definitely still lives here, but you feel very much a kind of mountain town like elitism, and that especially if you moved from somewhere else where maybe in your area or group of friends you were like, I don't know, the active one and the crazy one or something, but then you come to these towns and you're like, wow, I'm like below average at everything. Like, did you feel any of that at Breckenridge and have any kind of imposter type syndrome that maybe led into wanting to create this feeling for others that like, no, you do belong here, whether your skill level is, leisure athlete or competition athlete?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of touched on like us being competitive snowboarders and that sort of thing, and that's kind of what led me to come out to Breckenridge ultimately, is because at the time when I did move out here, 2006-ish, right? Yeah, 2006-ish. Oh my God. Like Breckenridge was the place to be. Like we had the most awesome park, the half pipe. If you were a pro rider, like you lived in Summit County, you lived in Breckenridge. So like this is where I wanted to be for sure. And yeah, I mean that feeling was a big deal for me like at the time, because I was like, I feel like I'm a great free ride snowboarder, and then you get out here and it's like, okay, well, I'm not pro. That's
Yeah.
like I'm a great snowboarder, but I'm not pro. But like I think I learned early on, like if I want to keep snowboarding, I need to do it for myself and, like, do it for the joy of it, and, like, no matter what, like, competition days are great and fun, but they're also high stress. The days that I live for are the days that I'm out there with my friends, and especially, like, if you can have one of those magic days where it's, like, it's a powder day and you just start collecting friends in the lift line, and then you're in a mob, and then, it's like those are the days that I live for and what keep me kinda coming back. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mainly when I moved to Breck and Colorado, or just like generally always being in this industry in some sort, right? Being in the outdoor industry, you find like snowboarding, like people are so well connected and they're pretty welcoming. Like even if you aren't pro, what I was finding before making VNTRbirds is that you have the people that are like, "Yeah, I snowboard, but I'm not that good, so you probably don't wanna go with me. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I ride bike, but I'm not that good, you probably don't wanna go with me." Or I'll go with somebody else and all of these things, and I think that's where we kind of found that need of being like, "You don't need to be pro, like, you don't need to be doing this, you don't need to be racing, you don't need to be in any sort of competition, you could just be doing this for fun." It could take you forever to get to the top of the hill to then, like, turn it on and go downhill, like, that is totally fine, and, like, people want to just go out and ride with you. A
Mhm.
lot of the times, it's like it's about the laughter, it's about the connection, it's about the conversation you're having with this person while you're doing that activity, rather than just, like, "You have to be the best of the best because we're not taking any breaks and we're getting
Yeah.
hardcore," you know? So I think that's where we kind of found the need of just being like, "You don't need to be pro, but you can keep doing these sports, and you can do them well, and therefore have more fun while you're
Yes.
doing them."
Yeah.
I love it. And so that's exactly kind of leads me into where it all started with like where you started to kind of notice a gap that needed to be filled that eventually built VNTRbirds. Like, was this getting into like backcountry for the first time yourself? So yeah, tell us about how that all started.
Yeah. I would say like VNTRbirds, it went through a lot of changes as we started. So I originally started this company called Thumbs Up Birds and still birds. They started with my best friend. She was a film photography major. I was a journalism major. We went and studied abroad in New Zealand, and essentially we were using this as a blog to pretty much we don't have to call our parents every day, right? We don't have to give them updates
Yes.
what we're doing
Okay.
and see what we're doing, but as we were there, we realized, like, we were interviewing, like, women in snowboarding and skiing, folks that we were meeting on the road that were, like, out winter surfing and doing these different things, and it very quickly snowballed into, like, this outdoor blog of, like, showing that there are, like, women in the outdoors, there's women, like, in these roles, and then as the outdoor industry followed suit and there wasn't just, like, the token skier, right? Like, the one person in all of these films, we were like, it's not enough to showcase the folks that are already in the outdoors. We need
Mhm.
to find a space, make a space to get more women and femme folks out there. And that's pretty much when, like, my friend at the time, she moved away. She was doing her own thing. I kept the brand, and um Leanne and I sat down. Leanne was guiding for some backcountry outfitters. I was teaching some like mountain bike courses, and I was like, "You know what? We're doing the same thing but different. Do you want to please, 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 big sister, you love me so much. Do you want to run this business with me?" And she said, "Yes."
Love it.
She said yes, and really she was like, under one condition, we changed the name. And VNTRbirds was kind of born from that.
Oh, that's awesome. I absolutely love that you recognize, you guys are doing different things, but like same. And like, how do we combine? And let's bring our forces together to overall get more women, femmes out here. And did it start just with snow or from the beginning? Was it snow and bike?
It was snow and bike, but
Okay.
a bike was, like, light, you know?
Very.
And we were in the very beginning with VentureBirds, like, teaching courses, we were only teaching, like, your backcountry basics, so very much, like, intro to how to use your gear. It was most people's first time out into the backcountry and that sort of thing. And that's kind of how we started with our bikes too the following summer. A lot of these courses were like donation based. 'Cause we were like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, is anyone gonna think that this is valuable? And it is. It's
Yes.
extremely valuable. So it's funny that I did that at
It took
first.
it took us a while to own our own, like, worth in our own
Yeah.
knowledge and be like, "Yeah,
Totally.
people do wanna pay us
Yeah.
to teach
Mm-hmm.
them this." But yeah,
I
that's a
think
struggle.
I think that's totally normal for most people, and maybe that script is changing, I would hope, with just more, especially for women, more things being out there and available now, like women having been able to go through courses and experience things like this and build something of their own, that they're kind of maybe skipping some of those stages that we went through of being in early stages, like, well, this doesn't exist really, so is it worth it? And like, I think the biggest thing is valuing in yourself, your self-worth. And like you said, it sure it's valuable, people need this, but are they gonna pay me? Like, am I the right one to teach it? I feel like that's something that, is very hard to come to terms with sometimes. It takes just like longer than, well, it should, just to think
It
that no,
took me
it's
way
your
longer,
worth.
I would have to
Yeah.
say, like, Leanne was like, "Nope, we have s" she knew way sooner, like, I always knew that, like, what I was doing, I loved it.
Hmm.
Leanne knew way sooner that how the value of it, I would
Yeah.
say, 'cause, like, for me, to this day, it probably would have been like, I don't know, donations, 'cause, like,
Yes.
I don't
I,
know.
I'm honestly fighting that to this day, just with this podcast, everything. It's obviously a totally different beast. And, I'm not teaching courses. So the monetizing of it is completely different than many things. But I daily have the fight of, is this worth it? Like, is anybody out there? Like, does it really
Please,
matter?
love it. I'm listening.
But it's like, just to say, that while for some people it may get easier because there's more things available, it can still be those thoughts that come into your head, even if you've done something for a long time. You can just have that day where maybe it's just a really bad period and you're like, I'm extra hormonal or something. And like, I'm questioning everything. And, the next day it might all be better. But I think it's, yeah, we all as women just still kind of go through those cycles of like, is it really? Yeah. What's happening out there? And can be hard to keep that in front of mind, to keep doing what you're doing. And so in those early days, as you started and you're kind of doing these donation based, trying to figure out your worth and whatnot, what kind of challenges did you face? Like, were women showing up? Was it hard to find the women, or were they actually just like there, and now it was about how do we scale this and actually give the people what they need or want?
Yeah. Kelly and I joke like the first probably summer of like doing some mountain bike meetups, we would show up and sometimes it'd just be her and I going for a ride. And
Even
like
if one
maybe
person, we still
one
were going.
person or two people would like show up or whatever, it was like, oh, like at least we got to ride our bikes.
Yes.
And now like we have to cap it at 30 people. We have like 4 different groups going out at one time and that sort of thing. So definitely like finding the people we would be calling up our friends and be like, you should sign up for this course, please. Please, we'll give you a discount. Like,
Tell your mom, tell your sister.
But, like, and then we grew it by like those people started telling people about it, right? Like there's a lot of word of mouth. We started like taking some photos and some videos so people could start to see like
Mhm.
this is legit. These are like we're having a ton of fun. We started to recognize that like we do need to a little bit like prove ourselves that we're legit. Like we get all of our own permitting. We hire all of our very professional guides and educators. All of our guides and educators and coaches, they're all certified to be teaching what their whatever their respective field is, whether it be avalanche education or mountain biking and insurance and like all of the things. So like we are legit and we had to learn to be able to like tell those stories
Mhm.
But it's something that we're like so proud of. And we grew slowly, very slowly. It took us years to be able to let go of what were our full-time jobs and make this our full-time job, so it took a long time. But we had, each other to kind of vent with and whatever. And I think that Kelley and I, maybe we are like different cycles or whatever. Like there's times where Kell is so motivated, and she's like doing all of a sudden my checklist is like, oh my God, chill out. And then, and then I kind of like we go through those things. So it's really awesome to like have someone else to feed off of and everything. But yeah, I mean, it was really, really hard at first. And I think because we are a women-owned business in this very heavily male-dominated industry, it some of that proving ourselves in that way, people would be like, "Do you have permits?" And we're like, "Yes."
Yeah, we're
What do you
not
mean?
idiots. Yeah.
You're like,
We would get questioned a lot.
are you all certified to teach this? Yes. Like, and
It would be random like Instagram questions too, and we're just like, who is this?
are
Yeah.
you permitted to teach in Grand Junction? And we're like, yes, we are professional women. We own this like now bigger guiding company, and so I sometimes wonder if some of the other bigger guiding companies around there, are they getting the same hassle? I have no idea, but we got that a lot.
That's very interesting because I feel like no, probably not. Unless they don't, if they're not like explicitly like women owned or women behind it, I doubt they are. And it's such a good point that you are getting those questions, and especially like random Instagram. It's probably people who are like, who is this? Like kind of trying to like whistle blow on you or something, like, oh, don't go out with them. They're not vetted. They're not like certified or anything like that. Like come over here to us, this male owned blah, 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 because as women, especially just two women who own this and we don't see any other men, of course they're not going through the correct procedure to do it right. It's like,
They have too much glitter to be doing it right.
yeah. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to get a bunch of girls out there to go have fun, but not learn real things. And it's just insane that, I mean, it still definitely happens that you don't get taken as seriously as a woman, I think, in any kind of guiding, coaching, professional role that is typically male dominated. I mean, even if you look at professional sports, I feel like a man who, I think people talk about this, right? A lot, right? Like a random 50-something-year-old dude who used to play basketball in high school will like doubt an like WNBA women's coach and it's like, and like try and say they're better than him. It's like, what? Like you didn't even play in college and you think that this woman knows less than you and she's a professional coach. Or a lot of women who are getting into actually coaching in the male professional side like are still so doubted. It's like, you think this professional team would hire that woman if she wasn't qualified? Like, I don't understand people's thought processes. And again, it's something that I think really will be up against always, because we'll always be looked at as a little bit lesser in ability, especially when it comes to like a physical ability. And that's just, yeah, as frustrating as it is, I think something we just have to put our heads down and keep going and doing. And you guys have proven your place in the space by having all the certifications, the permits, and that's no small task. I mean, I wanted to do some paddleboard. I was a paddleboard yoga instructor, and I got some really lightweight paddleboards, and I wanted to do like hikes to alpine lakes, and then we do like paddleboard yoga up there. And yes, someone brought up to me like permits and things, especially around here in Tahoe, and like just the commercial licensing, all that. I was like, oh my God, wait, what? Like I can't just like go on a leisure hike and paddle on this little lake. That it was so overwhelming. I had to talk to a friend who worked for a guide company and just like go into the weeds with it. But it just gave me a tiny insight into running a kind of guiding company. So the fact that you guys have to do all of that for every place you go, all your courses, like
Every new
there's
place,
a lot of admin.
Yeah.
So you're not out there just, like, doing and teaching the courses, you are on the computer getting all this logistics figured out. And when, I guess, did you guys teach the courses? Are you, like, certified to teach the area courses yourselves and whatnot? Did you start that way and then kinda grow and have to find others?
Yeah, yeah. So, I have been teaching like our AIRE curriculum for the past 4 years, 5 years. And before that, before I got like my certifications to teach like the AIRE curriculum, I was teaching our backcountry basics. And like our basics courses, we have our folks who at least have like their Rec 1, their Rec 2, their Avi Rescue, that sort of thing. But then if you do want to teach like avalanche courses with us, you have to go through like the AIRE training instructor training program and everything. If you're a course lead, you have to go through their course lead program. We have a handful of folks who are not only like educators, but they're also AMGA certified guides and that whole path. So, like all of our people are very legit. They either have like their wilderness first responder certifications, which, in case of an emergency in the backcountry, they're able to respond effectively. And yeah, like our people are very legit. They are out there all the time. A lot of them are on patrol during the week, teaching courses on the weekends. So also very committed.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, it's the same thing. All of our folks are either BICP or PMBI certified to teach level ones or level twos. We have air coaches now, and which like that's another thing too is
Air? Like, so, like, jumps?
oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. But like that's another thing too is at first when we were first doing this, there were not a lot of people who were like getting their coaching certifications or getting
Mhm.
their ARIES certified or their AMGA guiding and now it's changing and
Yeah.
it's awesome. Like when we start to ask people like, okay, we're starting to think about hiring for next season or whatever, the amount of women and femme folks who are like coming to us and like looking for a position, wanting to be in these spaces is like unbelievable. And I wish I had more courses
Yeah. It
to to give like that opportunity. But I guess that kind of I might be going like off topic a little bit, but that kind of is another one of our really big missions is mentorship. So
Mm,
we do a ton of scholarships and we offer opportunities for professionals like in the outdoor industry, whether it be mountain biking or avalanche certifications, to come out and shadow with us. So they're basically like building their confidence, seeing how we're running courses and clinics and like getting that professional experience.
that's
And we're not
amazing.
asking for anything in return. But those people tend to want to then, teach for us. So
Mhm.
it's really, really awesome, the mentorship program that we've kind of created throughout the years. And
I think that's also it goes back to, like, one of our core things is, like, help women, femme folks see themselves as outdoor athletes, You
Uh-huh.
don't have to be the best of the best, but you are an outdoor athlete. If you are going out here and doing all these things, like, own that identification, right? And so creating these opportunities for folks to come out, shadow that Area 1, gain that confidence, hear the verbiage that folks are using, but then also have those connections, have that mentor that you are gonna stick with then, right? Like,
Mhm.
once the clinic, course, whatever it is over, you have their contacts, you can reach out to them, and that's, like, anytime. And I would say that's for whether they are a professional shadowing or a client who is learning how to mountain bike for the first time, like, something that VentureBirds loves to hold is that it's never a one and done course. It's not that you came out, you got your certification, you came out, you learned how to do a bunny hop right on your bike. You came out, you got all of these things, you made new friends in your course, your clinic, your workshop, but then you also gain these mentors. Like reach out to them. You're buying new bike shoes. Let's talk about what different companies we like and why. You are getting a new split board or you're looking for a great outfitter that does like wilderness first responders. Like, let's talk about who you can, hang out with to get all those different things and then come back to VNTRbirds. And this is like, it could be that season, it could be the next season, the season after that. Like, reach out to us. We're here for you throughout your entire journey. Utilize the resources that you have, especially like going back to talking about the people that are whistleblowing on us, right? Like, it made the other outfitters and the other people in the industry who did support us right away that like stand out that much more to us, right? Like, okay, this company, there was last year.
Yeah, let's give us
So
the tea.
last year, one time, I made a mistake. I was panicking. I was checking my pulse because it was about to explode. But when you do an AIRI course, you provide the clients with these blue books, and these blue books help you, record, snowpack, your study, your trip, who you're with, how you're feeling, what your plan is, what your backup plan is, all of these things. It comes with the course. I am packing everything up to go onto this course to give all of our things out, and I do not have enough. And I am losing my mind because it's not like AIRI is next door. They are like in Cresta Butte. I can't just like go pick up these blue books from somewhere. One of these outfitters who does live right next to me, I call him at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm like, so sorry, my good friend. Can I steal like 7 blue books? I am so short. Can I steal 7 blue books? And he was like, yeah, walk over right now. Like, walk over right now, take the blue books. He was like, I have so many, so don't even worry about like ordering more right now. Like, just like get through your course and then we'll talk about it afterwards. And, they saved the day, right?
Yeah.
Like it, and it saved our like appearance and our
The reputation.
because like, could you imagine if I
Yeah.
was half of you get them, but half of you don't. Sorry. Like, and mistakes do happen. It's just Leanne and I running this business. So every once in a while, it's just like things do slip through the cracks. And, but it has those people that do support you just stand out that much more. And then, it gives Leanne and I the drive to help those people too. Like, somebody's coming up and they are trying to do hiking. They are trying to do paddleboard yoga. And we're like, okay, this is what you need to do. These are your contacts. Like, I'm happy to talk to you about who I talk to.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you'll get them, right? Like, permitting is really competitive. We're super fortunate to have what we have. But like talking people through that because we took a really long time to get through that portion of it. It still takes me a really long time to put in all of our permitting every year, but I know the gig now, right? Like
Yeah.
when it's due, I know what they need. It still takes me a while because that's not my full-time job. Everything else is my full-time job. But it gives us the opportunity to then help other people who are the new kids on the block now, right?
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, it all kind of comes back like to community, right? The
yeah.
whole I mean, even what I'm doing, again, it's like largely about creating that community and that network of people where you may not have the answers for someone, but you can point them to someone else who does or has closer to the answers for them. And it's not this competition of like, we want you to only come to us for everything you need, but we will, hook you up with whoever we think is great that can help you out. And we just want more people to be out there and doing the thing and having the confidence to do those things. And I think that community in this day and age has very much gotten lost. I think that for those of us who do live in like smaller mountain towns and do things in the outdoor industry have a much more like connection with it and understand how important it still is. But people outside of that, the kind of general public, I think, doesn't have that as much anymore. Even in your neighborhoods, the way kids interact with each other, especially in big cities, is not the same as it once was in the 90s and 80s of actually going outside and playing with your friends, right? So it has changed for everybody everywhere. So that's why I think it is so important, especially to welcome people in who maybe aren't don't live in those areas, want to take a course, but they don't live in the ski town, but they go up once in a while and just feel even more removed from that community and are just trying to get a foot in the door of finding their people. So again, just opening those doors for people is so important. And said, finding the people that support you and are like, yeah, I got your back. We all make mistakes. Shit happens. And even though it may seem like a little mistake to someone on the outside of like forgetting, like not having enough books, like that could be a huge for you. And again, like your reputation with what you guys do, that one wrong person hears it and it's like, oh, well, they don't even have enough material. So are they really prepared? Like, even though
Totally.
you're so established now, like that anything, there's still the people out there who just want to take you down. And I did want to touch on, you guys mentioned how long it took you to build. Like this wasn't a cool, we started and the next, slow year and the next year was like, bam, here we go. I think that's so important too. And something I have to remind myself of often is it is absolutely normal to be a few years in and still like treading water, right? It is not 1 year, 2 year, I'm 4 years into this podcast and it is, I feel like still like on that point, like I'm getting close to a point where I can like, break out of this spot, but it everything we hear and see these days is more of that instant success. So we feel like because we're 4 years in, 5 years in, that like we should be so much further than we are. But the truth is like it's absolutely normal to still be kind of struggling at those years. And it's, not till 10 years sometimes that people are finally able to quit their full-time job or actually like be in the green or something. For you guys, for that context, when did you start VNTRbirds? What was the year?
Yeah, go ahead.
Technically 2019.
Okay.
But 2019 uh fall going into 2020 winter. So if you
Yeah.
remember, uh pretty
Mama.
much what was it, like March 2020,
Yeah.
Yeah.
end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we were so nervous. And we got a little bit, there definitely was a bit of a community feel in those times with different guiding companies around us. We leaned a lot on each other, being like, okay, what are you all doing to be able to be like compliant and safe and like while COVID is going on, So we were very, very nervous, like this is gonna be the end. But as we all know, it all of a sudden became this outdoor world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so, yeah, we were wearing masks and we were taking so many safety precautions, and we had waivers that were like, if you feel not great, don't come. Like, we made it work. And I think that we were kind of lucky in some
Fortunate, for
way.
sure, fortunate.
Yeah, fortunate that it kind of was the time that we were getting into it, because all of a sudden everyone was like, let's get outside, let's sign up for courses. I
Mm-hmm.
have a stimulus check, let's do this. And then so we kind of immediately got to like reach out to a lot of different people and
Yeah.
got them out on courses. So
And I would say, like Leanne was saying, our base is community, right? Like we used to only do group rides, then we were doing donation based, but we still kept that. Like we are all about our community. And something Leanne always says is she's like, I feel like we're good at this job because we're really creative about what our community needs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we can keep just doing the same exact clinics over and over, over and over. And, we'll probably still see new people or even the same people if they're just bumping up that education or getting a refresher, anything like that. But really, what do they need that is fresh and new?
Mm-hmm.
So using our community and using this like guideline of like, we've done this works, this doesn't work, but maybe it would work in this way. So something like fresh and new that we started was the rip roaring mini enduro that we do with mountain biking. So, we have this rider to racer program. You go from being, an intermediate to advanced mountain biker. Where do you go now? You feel like a little stuck. You're ready for this next step. But like jumping right into these big enduro races, maybe that is like too intimidating. You need a little bit more guidance. So we do like this 10-week program where you have a strength and nutrition coach. You have these skills coaches that are with you the entire journey. So you get a skills clinic and we're like, okay, it still feels like a lot. going from these skills clinics and training
Mhm.
into this big professional race. And it all comes back to the community, right? Like, we are going to build this rip roaring mini enduro that is just a party. It is more
I
for
love it.
like, you are gonna ride your bike as fast as you freaking can today, but then you get to the bottom, there's all high fives and cheering and laughter at when you get to the start line at the top, it's just a big dance party and everybody's cheering you on, counting you down to, like, get through that course, and it's like, low stakes, right? You feel like it's
Yeah.
low stakes, and you're just, like, having this fun, having this party, and then we did the same in the winter where we have our Venture Out Backcountry Festival, which is our all femme backcountry festival. It's like one of a kind. We've been doing it for years and years now. It's like one of our favorite things. But let's get all of these folks who have taken courses over the years, or it's been a while, or you're new to the backcountry, like come out, do this festival, meet new people, learn about the state of the snowpack, do these fun tours, come back, have like crafts and workshops and tech talks, and just like be in this community, like be in this connection. Like it all comes back. Like from when we started through today, like it all comes back to like, what does the community need? How are we giving back? Even I'm kind of blabbering now, but
No, it's great.
like, one of the biggest things that I was, like, really proud of Leanne for as soon as we started getting out of Summit County was, especially with our mountain biking, she was like, "Okay, we are now in BV. We're in BV, we're doing these courses. How do we give back to the BV community? Because that's not our community. Like, how do
Mhm.
we, create these opportunities for their trail builders and their small businesses?" And we just, like we go around and we're like, "Yeah, it's not just our community, it's, like, the whole thing." So every time we move around, we try to like bring in more people and really just like help other folks grow with us. Like we grow because they're growing. So come and learn and grow with us.
We
I
want
love
we
it.
want people to be like, if someone is hearing, okay, we're gonna VentureBirds is having a course in Crested Butte this year or whatever. We want the Crested Butte community to be like, VentureBirds is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
they brought in a local restaurant or they brought in local speakers or, we want to involve the community as a whole with all of our different events. So yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think that is huge, and just having that such like recognition of it, like we're outside of our normal community. We can't do things the way that we have been. If we want to be truly welcomed into this other community, we have to do things maybe a little bit differently and work with them with what they need. Their needs may be just a little bit different, even if it is like the next city over or whatever it might be, right? Just being aware of that and not just stuck in your own, like, this is how we did it, so we're just gonna kinda keep this same blueprint and take it everywhere. Like, how do we involve, like this restaurant over here, these little things, like you said, I love that so much. And I'm curious, now I feel like I have a little bit of a different story with, that may actually be more similar to your guys's. It's like having a very supportive family while participating in a very male-dominated, like, industry and activity, and so it wasn't till later in life kinda when I realized, like, "Oh, wow, not everyone had this kind of support that I had," and it wasn't just like, "Whatever, I don't fucking care, I'm gonna be here and show up anyway," and so for me with that, like, if you've been a long time listener out there, you know what I'm probably talking about, which is wrestling, and I'm a wrestling coach now, um, and yeah, I just became a huge backer of women's wrestling and, like I said, showing up for the girls and women there who were doing it on their own and didn't have support of their family or friends or community or anything like that. Because like I said, I did have that. And when I realized other people didn't, and that's also actually how I found like and got into things like She Jumps and just women's organizations in general, was like, well, I always had it, so now I feel like I need to give that back to other people for the people who didn't have it. And I'm curious with VentureBirds and, being femme and women focused, like, did you guys have any, like, kind of personal experiences growing up where you didn't feel welcome, or was it kinda that, like, we know others didn't and we had that and we wanna give it back?
Yeah. Um, I will say as much as I can like remember, when I first started getting into the backcountry, it felt pretty unwelcoming. Like
Mhm.
it felt like, and this is like 12 years ago. that I started getting into split boarding and that sort of thing. And so it was very much like, this is my zone. I'm not going to tell you where I go
Yeah.
ski, like, that sort of thing. And it was hard to find like some backcountry partners, and it's still something that I struggle with sometimes on like bigger days. Maybe I want to ride something in avalanche terrain, like finding people who are, down and that you trust and
Mhm.
that sort of thing. I will say sometimes that's so extremely hard in the backcountry, but it was especially hard when I was first getting into it. And I think that like when you take a course with VNTRbirds or, you kind of get access to our resources, whether it be like some backcountry guidebooks, which there are so much more of now these days than
Mhm.
there were when I was first starting. There's Onyx Backcountry, and Caltopo now shares when other people are like creating maps and stuff. So I always say like use those resources as like inspiration.
Mhm.
So, like, maybe it kinda gives you access to, like, a trailhead that you never thought of or whatever, and you can see people are skiing there, but you still need to have, like, your brain and the education once you get out there, to know what avalanche terrain is, what it is not, where you're planning on going, not just following a random skin track into the
Yeah.
woods, because you don't know what that person was doing, what they're up to. Um and then, like, with mountain biking, and so it's funny, I have been skiing since I was 1, skiing, snowboarding since I was 1, but mountain biking, I did that as an adult,
Mhm.
like, I was 30 about when I started mountain biking, and it was because my now husband, got me into it. He was, like, super into enduro racing, and, so anyways, I was like, "If I wanna hang out with this guy, I gotta learn how to mountain bike, I guess." And so the mountain biking community though it felt so different to me. Like it felt so welcoming, and people were like, come out and ride bikes with me. And like they didn't care that I sucked and I probably like fell on my bike like 18 times. And I also was in a crew of people where they would take me on some of the hardest trails, like,
Yeah.
but I stuck with it. And I tell this story where Michael, my now husband, this is actually the moment where I almost broke up with him early on. But my first experience riding bikes, I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. My first experience riding bikes, we go out to Fruita, Colorado, and he takes me on PBR. It is just like fun, flow, roller coaster, super mellow. And I'm a longtime snowboarder. Like, I loved that shit. It was awesome. Like, I loved it. I was like, mountain biking, I am so into this. The next day, we're on a road trip. We go to Moab, and he takes me to Captain Ahab.
Oh my god, that's so funny because I
Which
I did not do that in Moab just the other day because I was alone and I didn't have a lot of time, and I was, like, reading so much about it. I'm like, "Can I do this in this amount of time?" And then I was like, "You know what? I'm not even gonna fuck with this today."
it's
Like,
from the
I will
Nagar.
come back with somebody on this and have, like, no time limit. So, those are 2 without even having ridden the trail, but just did a lot of reading about it, vastly different trails.
Second bike
180.
ride ever. My second bike ride ever, and at the time, it was, like, a different entry than what it is now or whatever, so it was, like, this ginormous, like, step down thing, like, just to get, like, to the trail, and I'm like, "No, no way," like, I cried and whatever, and made him turn around, and then, it's funny because I just had this I was so scared of it, I was so
Mhm.
it's been many, many years now, and I'm a different mountain biker. But we went and we rode it, in the spring, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love this!" You know? It's like but I rode with a group of people who they were so much better than me. They took me on all sorts of, like, epic mountain bike trails that, like, yeah, a first timer should never have been on. But that was my experience, but everyone was so welcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
wanted to come out with me even though I sucked and I was in over my head, and they most likely had to clean up some of my blood or, fix my flat or whatever. It's so welcoming. So, I love the mountain biking community for that.
Yeah, it's
And it's trying to,
amazing.
like, like we were supported, right? And we saw a need. We saw like we're trying to fill this gap, but we're continuously finding a need. Like in the
Mhm.
beginning, we were like, we are a women's outdoor education. We are a women's outdoor education. Now we're like, we are a women's femme, non-binary. Like we are finding that other people that need more support, like trans folks, come on out. We are here. We're supporting you in your journey. Meet other folks that are also supporting you in your journey. Create your community if you don't currently have it
Mhm.
through VentureBirds, right? So I would say like everybody has their different trail of life and that can quickly pivot too, right? People's stories change in the middle of life and different things. So we're trying to be the people that like we are continuing to support you. Um a big thing that VentureBirds does that we're really, really proud of is that we have a whole scholarship program. Um,
Oh, cool.
Most of this, some of them are supported by different brands, but the majority of our scholarships are self fundraised. So we are out there hosting events like our No Man's Land Film Festival, or we have a gear swap coming up this week.
I saw that.
It's gonna be really fun. But these proceeds go straight, like we don't get paid for these. It goes straight to our scholarship fund to get more people out there, not just in the outdoors but into these leadership roles and to find that. So it is like we understand, like especially, getting into the sport, that takes so much. One, it
Mhm.
takes drive and confidence because you are a beginner and that is the hardest shit ever is to
Mhm.
be a beginner at something, especially as an adult. And you just feel like you should be good at something, but it does take
Yes.
time. Like
I have
finding
that syndrome.
Totally. Being a beginner is super hard, but also getting into those leadership roles, like Leanne said, they have to take, to be an avalanche educator, you have to take your rec 1, your rec 2, your rescue, your instructor, like, and that is so much money and it's so
Mhm.
much time. How do you work this second job, have a day job when your goal is to be this outdoor educator, to be this guide? And they don't make enough money, I must say. Uh,
Especially in a, like, relatively short season, especially depending where you live, right? Like,
yes.
to get this all done and work, like, that's probably not happening in one season.
Yeah.
Like,
So
so it's so much time.
let us get you out there. Let us, at least front the bill in some way, right? Like
Mhm.
that's something that we are happy to work harder to create. Like if I could just pay for everybody's things,
Yeah,
I would.
I
I
wish.
know, for real. Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yes. But we do try and we give out so many scholarships. I think per seat or I don't know, over the year we're giving out like over $20,000
Wow.
in just scholarships alone. And we do these big scholarships, which they're actually open right now for folks.
Yeah.
Backcountry avalanche education, those scholarships are open right now, but we also do partial scholarships. So if somebody is just like, hey, if I could get my gas and lodging covered, I would be able to take this course. Or if it was $100 off, I'd be able to take this course. We are here to listen to our community and their needs and try to meet them where they are. And as long as we have it, we're here to give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That being
amazing.
said, if there's anyone out there listening, you're looking to support some women and some femme folks in the outdoors, get to our website, check out the scholarship area, and you can either donate like directly to VentureBirds, or we have a
Fiscal sponsor.
fiscal
Fiscal.
sponsor. It's the Friends of Dillon Ranger District, and it's the national forest that we operate in typically for like our backcountry education. So you can potentially get a tax write off for that. So, yeah, if we could get more women and femme folks into the outdoors, into these leadership roles, I mean, that is the dream.
Yes, I'm here for that for sure. 100% about supporting that. And I hope there are some listeners out there that they're either participating in that program, looking it up, trying to get in that way, or have the means to donate or support through some of these fundraisers that you guys are doing. When this airs, I think it will be a week after I've hosted the third annual ladies avalanche awareness night here. And so a gal that I took my motorized level 1 with teaches for Sierra Avalanche Center. She leads the discussion, Tasha Thomas. She's amazing. And she is a part of like an ARI mentor program this year that hopefully we can get some meetups together and she can get some of her mentees out to learn under her while taking groups out. It's just so amazing to see more women in these spaces, and I just want to do whatever I can to get the message out there for ladies to get into these roles or to learn from these other women. So it was lovely having you guys on and telling everyone about VNTRbirds and how women can, and femme and non-binary and trans, like come out there and be supported in a group of like-minded individuals. And whether it's just to feel comfortable recreating and getting out there, or you have some goals of taking some of these leadership and guiding roles. I mean, it's so cool that you offer really like everything across the board. You did mention you're outside of Colorado as well, or where can people find you guys online and like in-person courses?
Online, VNTRbirds.com, so VNTRbirds.com, or on Instagram or at Gmail, however you want to, whatever your love language is to get a hold of us, you can find us, VNTRbirds. We are currently, Leanne and I are based in Summit County, but we host our workshops, clinics, courses throughout the state, from the Front Range all the way down to Durango, Snowmass, Crested Butte, everything in between. But we are actually working. This is a hot new drop. You're the first one. We are going to host a mountain bike retreat in Moab this coming April.
Oh my God. Awesome. Okay. Well, I don't remember the dates off the top of my head, or if you guys are familiar or attend Boot Tan Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Is it around the time?
It's after Boot Tan Fest.
Like right after? Like maybe on my way home from Boot Tan Fest, I can go to Moab?
2 weeks after.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just have to plan a longer trip to hop around and be able to like loop and attend all. So that's amazing. That's so awesome.
Expanding into Utah, which we're really excited about. And then we also have some new bike clinics for folks next year's too. That we're expanding into another state. I don't want to announce anything yet, but keep in touch with us. And it's super easy to do that. You can sign up for our email list. And like Kelley said, follow us on all the social media things and you can be first to know.
And I would say like our biggest thing, if you were like, boy, I wish somebody was doing something like this. I can't do it, but I wish somebody was doing some sort of clinic course, whatever, that was like this. We're happy to listen to you, because if it's something that we can run with, again, we love the fresh and new.
Amazing. I love it. Well, you heard it, everybody out there. Go follow VNTRbirds on social media. Check out their website, whatever. Look up their courses, their scholarships. Stay tuned for expansions and the mountain bike retreat. Oh my God, like I said, gotta get to my calendar, and I really gotta start planning my April and trying to get to Boot Tan and all the things. So
we'll be there.
Yes, awesome. So cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today, and everybody out there, thank you. We'll talk to you all next week. Bye.